I mean, they give the idea that we are against the non-Malays, we are against the Muslims and all that. And then, and you can see in the media, what the term that being used is what? Islamophobia. Is this Islamophobia being projected and put in the media and all that is something that we are trying to break. We are trying our best. That's why you can see that during Chinese New Year, Deepavali and all that, these are some of the ways we try to approach the blame. I'll tell you that, sorry. I'm the chairman of a resident association here. I've been chairman for 10 years, more than 10 years. I stay in a community, 300 families. 50% are Chinese and Indians. I have election every 2 years. And for the last 10 years, 5 times election, they always choose me. Why? This is my community. They're close with me, they know me. They know me as a person, and they know me, I deliver as a leader. Of course, our association will collect money, and they know that. I only use the money for the purpose of the society. Very transparent and all that. So, I'm telling myself, if I'm being a past member, if they can choose me in section 12 Subang 5 times election, they always want me, they don't want anyone else. Why can't the same thing happen at the parliamentary seat and the state assembly person? But I think this one, because personally they know me, there is no phobia there. So when you put in a barrier, you put in a phobia, they use the media. I wouldn't want to mention which political party do that, you know. Which political party puts in the barrier, create a phobia against Islam, against party. You know, I don't want to tell you. And that has been difficult. Because during the last few elections, last election, they got 95% of the non-Malays, non-Muslim votes. We only get about 5%. And that is how successful they have been in painting a very dark picture of the past. Maybe you can help us in this. Okay?
Yeah, another question, since you're talking about reaching out to minorities, how has the Dewan Himpunan, the DHPP basically been assisting your operations?
I think DHPP very good. I mean, you know, no, I think they have been assisting us. The only thing that DHPP, they have not grown as much. There are a few of the DHPP leaders, either they're Chinese or they're Indian and all that. They become leaders at national level. Even in the states where like Terengganu, Kelantan, and where we run the state, you know that we appoint them to positions in the state exco, state assembly, and all that. We want to bring them together. Back to your question, whether has the HPP been growing? I personally feel that the problems, the challenges faced by the HPP is very much similar to what the challenges and problems that faced by past themselves. I wish they can understand us much better. I sit here.
Anyone, will 2 or 3 more.
Actually, if you don't mind, maybe you could let us know a little bit about Subang constituency. What sort of percentage is B40?
Oh, that one.
And also, you said you managed to recruit new members every year, about 200, right? What percentage of that are young people, or or working class adults?
So in terms of demographic, actually we have scattered. So we have a mix of, we call it, not to say rural and urban, but actually there's a term now we call it kemiskinan bandar. So in kemiskinan bandar, actually relocation of some community to a new area, which is called PPR. So even though name is Subang, we call it Subang, and actually there's a quite high value properties and land over here. You can find a cheap rent. You can't find a cheap rental in Subang. Actually, USJ Subang Jaya is quite expensive level. But there is a community always need to be attended to. So in terms of working class, actually it is a mix. Majority of it, I could say about 60 to 70% is M40 and above. So the B40 actually centralized and allocated into a specific certain livelihood area, which is usually a relocation of PPR from reclaimed land meant by government, like Mid Valley. They take over from one of the Stinggan over there. The Stinggan, what is in English?
Squatters.
Squatters. So and then they move to PPR. So PPR located at the strategy. So in terms of location, I think the government looking into not to have a very double standard, which rich people stay at one area, not so rich people stay at one area. So they mix development. So in one city or one bandar, there must be a place for B40 and M40. So there must be a mix of bungalow, semi-D, terrace, and also this PPR. So when there is a mix of that, definitely in Subang there will be a place to be attended to. So as also we have been studying the demographic. We have been puzzled with, actually they are staying here, they're living here, they are growing and having education here. But when in terms of election, they go back to their village, which is Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang, Kedah. So this is one of our challenges. Yes, we are actually already a 33% non-majority, but when we approach them, actually they are outside the constituency region level. So that's a strategy that we won't share. But I believe in terms of kebajikan welfare, we do not see where you are colorblind. So we do not see whether you are these constituency members or outside, or what's your race, what religion, we didn't see. In terms of color, in terms of welfare, we are colorblind. So in terms of B40, yes, it's about 20 to 30%, and then the youngsters, this is the challenges, because some of them actually started to doing 2 jobs already, the youngsters. So this is the economic challenges, the rising of living costs. So after they go back from their normal 8 to 5 works, and they started to do the second job. So in terms of doing class tuitions, in terms of doing some freelancers, and even gigs economy. So this is challenges not only to us, I believe it's also to other organizations as well, in terms of bringing them into this community. We have not have a luxury to have a full-timer in our organization. Like Mr. Rosan is a big high-time entrepreneur, so he can put all his time, 24 hours for the party. Like Mr. Rahman, Haji Nasir, all is the entrepreneur. But some of the people have a limited resources in terms of clocking in 8 to 5. So and furthermore, being burdened to have additional income. So they limit a bit their time. But in terms of registration as a member, yes, we managed to bring them. But in terms of bringing them into become a working community, there will be some challenges on that. That's the reality lah that we share throughout. Okay, I believe that we have, because the kindergarten we'll be having the rush hour there. So, ceremony, open ceremony is here or? Okay, we invite you guys for the refreshment.